Greetings, I am Liz.
We've done this again. And I am Scandal.
And let's play a game
Together, yay!
Let's make an
An
honest
honest
mistake
mistake
together.
together,
Okay,
yay!
so we have this thing where either one or the other of us will really say something stupid right before the intro, because on our tablet we have a little timer that counts down. So like on our computer games and our console games, this doesn't happen the same way because we're there recording silence so that, you know, we can edit it out in our Audacity program, because we've now learned a little bit about using it, a tiny bit,
Yes,
small
a
amount,
smidgen.
a smidge, because you know what?
A petition amount. A petite.
I say, but out here, you turn on your recorder and it counts down 1, 2, 3, and so there's 3 seconds worth of shenanigans
Where anything can just happen.
where either of us can do something incredibly dumb, and then you have to be subject to the fallout of
Or
it.
incredibly intense.
Incredibly beautiful, and then we just stand there silently. Okay, there's been a couple of times where either I have done something or where Scandal has done something, and we completely miss the timer because we're just staring at the other in dumb disbelief.
Yeah, and now I am confused.
And then we just delete that one. There's 4 seconds of silence, and we try again.
Yep, we just do it all over again, because that's not what you're here for, silence.
All right, so
It's silence.
Mister's not to worry because.
You made an honest mistake, that's all.
But I didn't make a mistake. I literally didn't know. I throw away the whole entire can. I just yeet it into the trash can. But I panic trying to figure out where the nearest trash can is. And since there are a few trash cans in my room, but I can't remember which one's closest, I throw it straight over her head to the other side of the room towards the bathroom trash can, which I don't think I can make through the door, but it doesn't matter because I panicked. And it just spins in that glorious arc, spraying bean juice all across the room. And not only does it splatter Pig Bun more, but it also splatters Rena and an entire stripe across my room as it then bounces off the wall and misses the trash can, and I have sported badly. But I have to say, anxiety will do that too, man. I throw away the can. That's what happened.
The can.
If someone asks about the story later, I'll just say I threw away the can.
I did.
Because I did. I threw it away.
This is awkward.
Then we sit in silence for a minute. The person in the corner making the music stops. Oh shit, I just saw that amazing fail of like motor processing choices where you just yeeted that can and she's just dripping in this drink now. And I just, stop playing my soft little, xylophone in the corner. It's okay. Ping! Freezes. Ooh. We sit in silence for a whole minute.
An entire minute.
While I'm down at the foot of my second bed in my room.
It's fine.
Maybe the other bed over there is for the musician when they're resting.
Perhaps that's where we keep our band.
So, as I start speaking, they're like, yep, back to xylophone. Ping, 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 ping. I saw you outside the hallway earlier. Wait.
What?
Outside in the hallway? Or outside of the hallway? So, like, were you in a room, not in the hallway?
Oh my God.
Or were you, like, out the door, not in the hallway?
My brain hurts.
Somewhere outside of the hallway.
It's okay, my brain is this big. It's it's very smooth.
So it can't hold as much hurt as a larger brain?
Yeah, it's very smooth. Just okay, like for smooth. It's okay, it's a thing. You
I am not connected to this meme.
See, smooth brain.
I sigh. I saw you outside of the one hallway in this hospital earlier.
Okay, if you don't know what the thing that I'm talking about is, it has its roots in basically being extremely shitty. Let's just put it that way. So more animals that have less complex basically experiences have smoother brains. Actually, more wrinkles on the brain tends to mean higher levels of intelligence as far as we can tell. The literal structure of the brain is changed.
Okay, I knew that.
Yes.
What I didn't get is my brain is very small, and then you went into smooth, and I was like, does the size of your brain have to do with smoothness?
No.
That's where my disconnect was, and so I'm like,
I decided to change it up because I wanted to.
Well, you
like
lost
a shit.
Me. In your pivot, I got lost.
See, smooth brain.
My friend pivoted with no indicators, and then I should have known that they couldn't drink caffeine because that's a mistake that I didn't know.
Oh, it's fine.
All right. I saw you outside. I think it's supposed to say.
I saw you in the garden. Outside.
I think it's supposed to be in the hallway earlier. Because if you don't remember, you came into my room from the hallway. Is that what this conversation is? Remember? a few minutes ago, if you flash back to before I was super awkward and soaked you in bean goodness juice and ruined your pig bun, it flashes back to you rolling up in the hallway in slow-mo, her being dazed out, you waving a hand in front of her face. It comes in first person from her point of view, focusing in onto you, then flashes back to this room, her, I remember.
So it's like every anime.
Oh my god, flashback to 2 minutes ago!
I have gotten greatly irritated, and I understand why it happens, but it doesn't make it less irritating sometimes, where you're really like, when you watch a show, and you bought the whole season, you kind of wish they would just take that section out, you know, because what they're doing is they're recapping for what happened last week, and you go, I don't need to know what happened last week, because I'm watching the disc.
Because I'm binging.
I'm binging.
Okay?
Honey.
And when you tell me what happened in the last episode, I literally just saw it. But I'm talking about those ones where, like, massive, cool, emotional payoff happens. 2 minutes later in class, they flash back to it.
Oh, yeah, and that's happened too, which has been great.
That's the one that bothers me. The other one, I'm like, I understand that you don't issue 2 different types of serialized, animated experience. One for the DVD and one for the TV, but,
Which happened actually a lot, I will personally say, in freaking Obey Me. A lot. Remember where we were at flashback and you're like...
And if we'd been clicking through this at a normal speed, it would have really flashed back to like 30 seconds ago. It would have been amazing.
It's pretty bad.
All right, I saw you outside the hallway earlier. You were just floating through the wall. You were staring into space. Do we think she honestly doesn't remember this? When she's like, oh, hi, mister. I was just thinking.
I was just... Resting is what she said, yep.
From the busyness of my room. My vroom.
Vroom.
We need a wowie.
A what?
A wowie. You know, when people gather together in large groups to make a decision. A wowie.
Oh, you mean a rally.
That's what I said, a wowie.
My god, that movie is so weird nowadays to watch it and go, this is one of the most intense fucking stories about immigration and anti-Semitism and everything else, and then it becomes about
an inflatable
it's really easy to just get rid of all of your problems in one swoop, and it's not like it's a systemic issue at all. We couldn't do that for the kiddies. We had to make sure, quite literally, that it had to be easily solvable in this child's movie, even when we brought up all these deep and complex issues.
In one fell swoop. All right, so
also,
we're talking
the baby doesn't exist.
For anyone that doesn't know, we're talking about An American Tail.
Yes.
Which is a movie with mice that was made back in the 90s or something?
Yeah, 80s, 90s, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Anyway, so it's a cartoon.
Yes.
But the wowie probably quote is probably my favorite quote, and Tiger is my favorite character.
Tiger is pretty good. Tiger is a sad.
I say Miss Kitty's good too.
Miss Kitty is good, but Miss Kitty's only in the sequel.
I thought she was in that one for 2 seconds, but I'm trying to remember.
No, she's only in the sequel.
Okay, then I'm going crazy. It's fine. But the sequel was actually not bad, though it did everything the same, basically.
Yes, except it suddenly became this thing of going, I'm really interested in older men.
There was...
Wow! The daughter really going, and we're gonna suddenly abandon, the head covering thing? There was some wild changes.
There was a very, very interesting narrative between a very mature adult cat and a very young child mouse.
Uh-huh.
And it was a fascinating thing. So, you were staring into space, thinking about An American Tail.
Yes, I was.
What is with your ripply, worried mouth thing?
What?
You look so uncomfortable. Have we just ruined our entire chances with Rena?
I don't
At
even...
the end, our options will not include Rena because we offended her so bad with the caffeine drink.
We're gonna offend everyone.
She's gonna go into cardiac arrest because she took a sip of caffeine because of her mysterious waifu illness.
Why wouldn't they I'm still no good. You didn't know! What's wrong with the caffeine? What the crap?
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out if this is that wiggly concerned mouth or if that's the cute little cat mouth.
I think no, that is not the cat mouth. That is the concerned mouth.
But look at how it lines up under her nose.
No, I get it, but it's not correct.
It's just poorly done.
No, it's not correct.
Is that a thing that usually happens to you? Do you usually just stare off into space and commune with the dead? I mean, just think into space. When you need rest, you just freeze in place and you freeze in place like a narcoleptic gymnast.
That joke is so bad.
Rena can tell that I'm worried about her, and that I'm doubly worried since I just poisoned her with a mouthful of caffeine.
Or also, I am psychic about Rena. as well, by the way. I can tell.
She can tell that I'm worried. Okay, so that is a really valid criticism, and I've gotten so frustrated with actually criticizing this game instead of just, like, basically trying to fill it with interesting filler. I was gonna say, and trying to just have a fun time. But, like, that is a convention that has bothered me, and I've earmarked it several times in several games, and even in here of going, when this character, first person, says they can tell that they can tell whatever.
Right.
How do you know that they feel, have experience, or whatever that? How do you know that they're in that space? How does Mr. know that Rena can tell that he's worried? Because that face isn't a I can tell you I'm worried about me face. That is a this still tastes nasty and horrible in my mouth.
There's also the thing, too, that we literally don't really know Rena. And the fact that... What?
I was just like, so what happened was, the sequence of events in Pig Bun's sad day so far was she spits a drink on Pig Bun, we spill a drink on Pig Bun, then we eat a drink over Pig Bun to throw it away. And Pig Bun has been doused 3 times now.
Yes.
That's all. I was just sad. And in a sequence afterwards, you try
that was
and
really
say you're
non-sex.
okay, and then it was okay, and then I was just looking at the Pig Bun and thinking that her face is still the same as when she spit out the liquid.
Oh, okay.
And so that was where I connected that.
Oh,
and you tell him you're fine, and you just say everything is okay,
fine.
but then you just you're not really fine.
And then you just have to say you're fine, and you're not fine.
She can tell that I'm worried about her. She gives me a comforting smile.
Because everybody needs to make me feel better.
I was going to say, because it's really important that I feel better and that my challenges are handled above and beyond everyone else's.
Yep.
She knows that it's not worth worrying about her.
You think it's my illness that's causing me to zone out?
I thought it
Mister?
might be your
Mister?
medication, actually.
No, it's totally more my illness, because chronic waifu disease,
They have
Except
to stand
I don't
there.
know what it is.
A chronic, unknown disease sometimes just makes me stand there and look very beautiful and delicate and pale, and like I might have headaches or visions, or like I should be a love interest for sure. And so it just happens. Chronic waifu disease getting worse really just develops into more and more of the tropes of this is your love interest standard,
right?
Making her more and more classically tropey desirable until she either dies of it or gets married.
And then no longer waifu is actually waifu.
Well...
Relax, mister. That wasn't a side effect of my meds or
something. So it's not because she's sick, and it's not because of the meds. It's literally just because that's what Rena does normally.
But she didn't say it wasn't because she was sick. She said, did you think it's because I'm sick? And now she's saying, basically it's because I'm sick, because it's not because of my meds or something else. Did you think it's because I'm sick? Well, it's not because of my meds or something else.
To me, meds or something could also include being sick.
Except for
because it's or something. That something could be anything.
It's
or
true.
something. Like, it wasn't because of my meds or something.
Well, and that's the thing is those suggest... collecting something with meds suggests something outside of me, and the illness is inside of me.
I get your point, but I'm also like, if you're literally going by what that means, it wasn't a side effect of my meds or something. That something could be anything, which includes being sick. Like, I get what they're saying, but it's so awkwardly said.
My pigtails were tight, too tight.
My brain just slowly squeezing up against my eyeballs, and it was quite an experience.
It's more like... Ow.
So, like, I'm a rat, and so when I grind my teeth, my eyes pop slightly.
But only when I'm happy, not when I'm zoning out.
Honestly, if you don't know about it, it is actually a thing that rats do when they're happy. They grind their teeth, as far as I understand, and because of where their eyes are situated in their head, and when they bite down...
It shifts the orbs out a little bit.
Their eyes start... That's called popping, where their eyes start bugging out, and it's really cute. It's also really...
See, and I had rats when I was a kid, and I knew nothing about their body language or anything like that, other than here's when I want to get down, here's when I want to be held, that kind of thing. Like, we had basic communication, but I didn't know anything about inherent rat body language, so I didn't know what the eye popping meant at all. Otherwise, I could have interacted with it of going, you're feeling really happy, that's great, we can do more of this. I had no idea, but I saw it for sure. And sometimes I'm like, your eyes are bugged out of your head like freaking crazy. You look a little high-strung in this particular moment. And they're probably just having a great time, going, so happy! And you're going, wow! You look like you are just like, not galaxy brain in this moment of overload.
Honestly, though, that's why I think it's actually really important that people are sharing so much about their pets and going, oh my god, what's this thing? And then people are going, hi, by the way, I'm an animal psychologist, I can answer this really easily.
Animal behaviorist,
I'm a animal behaviorist, I know what's going on. Yeah.
Okay, so we're saying that she's implied that basically it's not the illness by going, did you think it was my illness? And then saying that it isn't the medicine or something else. And then she's saying, it's just who I am.
See, that's where like it could be.
I do that all the time.
That's just
What?
really. Did you do it before you were sick? Like, is that just part
Honestly,
of who you are?
she's just afflicted with ennui and despair.
She-
Really.
It does sound more and more like depression, real
Yeah.
hard. Like
Like
it just
big.
It just does. Maybe with like bipolar swings, you know, kind of thing.
Yep, she's totally talking to the undead, actually.
Sometimes I let my brain wander to many, many worlds. That's why I talk to the spirit.
I was gonna say, this could be a thing of like I daydream and I'm creatively minded, but that doesn't sound like that. It really does. I just let my brain, not even my mind, my physical brain, wander to other worlds.
Uh-huh.
This brain just floating gently in the, you know, the scapes of many different distant, you know,
My
ethereal
astral
lands.
projected self looks like a brain with wings.
Pretty much, flap, 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 flap. Pigtail wings.
Yeah.
All right.
With a cute little pig bun attached.
Yep, held on, you know, by the brainstem. I got my pig bun.
I got my pig bun.
It's so good.
It's so
All right, many worlds.
I almost forget all the problems in the real world.
Did you lose your accent?
I
like
did, because I
crazy?
don't fucking like, I'm honestly genuinely kind of annoyed. Going, it's not this thing, it's not that thing, it's this thing. You're
See,
like,
the thing
this is
was-
so much like it doesn't flow very well.
I say maybe we should have chosen a different game to sample what the guy's world is like.
Oh my
But
god.
we're gonna slog through this one
Aye.
game and then we'll see.
It's okay.
So she's trying to forget all the problems
I
in the real
almost
world.
forget all the problems in the real world,
Mister.
You should try that too sometimes.
Mister. Because but I'm supposed to be relaxing,
She's floating
not
along
stressing,
as a brain,
and focusing on healing
pig bun,
and recovery.
undead,
Because the doctor says
broken legs,
recovery
butt,
and don't stress.
penis.
You're kind of stressing me out.
What?
Maybe I should
Happy,
definitely
joy,
practice
staring off
getting away from
into the abyss
this situation
until he looks back.
so I can
Eyeballs,
focus on
racism.
getting better. Yep, I guess I will. I think
What the fuck?
that might be the logical course of action, to agree that maybe I should just do what you suggest I should do. In all the vagaries that you have described of wandering your brain to many worlds.
Mr. A polite cat face.
Okay.
I guess I will.
So you know that thing that people sometimes do where they're like, you should meditate, but then you have no idea what meditation means because you're a young person that's never really been exposed to it before and no one will explain it properly, and no matter how much you ask, you get vague roundabout answers like, well, it's a way of thinking, well, it's a type of breathing, well, it's sitting still, well, it's being mindful, well, it's being quiet. And so you've got a collection of a bunch of things that apparently are all descriptors of it, but none of them tell you what it actually is at all, but you should do it. I feel like that's him right now of going, well, I guess I will. I told people in the past when I was a little kid that I would try meditation with all of those vague descriptors and no help or support and no one willing to answer any further questions, going, guess what you mean is sit still and don't bother me, and that's meditation. And that was what I came up with as a kid, was sit still and don't talk to me in this situation. That's meditation.
Don't talk to me.
Oh, God. So I guess, based on that definition, I guess I will. I never knew Rena is such a fighter, even though literally everyone has said that Rena is such a fighter. She even described herself that, like, she's a fighter, and I told her she's a fighter.
What is
and
this?
Louisa said she's a fighter.
What does this have to fucking do with our conversation?
I just think about other things, so I don't think about the pain of the world or engage in reality at all, which actually might make me more inclined to not fight or care.
To not deal with or be connected to my problem.
Yeah.
So,
What does that have to do with fighting or not? Excuse me?
all I'm getting here from possible implication of what they were trying to write or what they're hoping you will perceive from
Glark
this
from
writing.
context?
What they're hoping will happen here, from what I understand, is that her going, I just space off sometimes to get away from what's going on, is suggested to be a coping mechanism, which gives her more energy to do what she needs to and is supposed to do, therefore is a healthy behavior. So you being able to do happy, joyful, nice things like daydreaming and being positive suggests that you're able to still have good, nice things in your life when it's full of darkness and the horrors of you dying slowly. And so you're such a fighter because you can still be positive. That's what I'm getting.
I could see that, but
Because daydreaming is considered largely to be this flight of fancy, lighthearted, sort of.
you're so positive. You're so childlike. Really, the language association with Rena is so infantile, and then like again, we've mentioned this before. I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. But also, again, I'm an adult, but I don't think encouraging kids basically to infantilize each other.
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
Especially since they're all designed, destined, and intended to grow up to be adults.
Mm-hmm.
So having them learn to treat each other more and more maturely to help them make that transition from child to adult, which I will just say at this point in our tiny channel with 300 plus subscribers,
Hello.
is infamously my problem.
Yeah.
Infamous across our channel. That is the problem that I have had, where I did not feel equipped to be an adult.
Yeah.
In ways of just going, sure, I had a lot of functional skills. I'm very able-bodied, and it's been an incredible privilege of mine to just be able to throw myself at things harder until it works.
Mm-hmm.
However, I had no emotional or social context or psychological preparedness for what I was doing for a lot of my life, and still don't in many ways. But like the first 3 years in the world on my own, like they were a nightmare.
Yeah.
They were terrible. And I had a lot of really unfortunate things because basically that experience of people not answering my questions, not treating me like an adult, not informing me in the way that I felt was necessary, not involving me in tasks that are related to real world mature things that you're going to need once you're an adult, such as not knowing what taxes are or how they work. Or not knowing that people don't talk about their paychecks or what that means. Not knowing anything about work culture or work decorum or what topics you do and don't discuss in public or with people or what certain topics imply, anything.
And also, a lot of that is also up to personal opinion. I actually had a problem with it too. I remember when I got out of my house going, why don't you talk about, how much money you make? And I still think it's shitty that we don't talk about it. Because it is, to me, a method of control, and I don't think it's acceptable, but we don't explain to people why or what that's about. We just go, you just don't talk about it. That my friend bringing up the other conversation of talking, people going, well, why don't we talk about it? Going, you just don't. And it's
you just know that. You just learn it.
And it's going, no, there actually was a specific reason for it.
Yep.
And it's a very classist reason for doing so. And it's also a very strong controlling reason to do it too, as well. So there are reasons why these things exist, but if you don't ask questions, you will never learn the answer. And I will just say, don't be satisfied with just going, oh, okay, I guess that's just how it is.
I say, and if no one gives you the answer, sometimes it's very, very frustrating to go, but I know there is one. Anyway, we're gonna just learn all over again that Rena is such a fighter in the next one.
Yes.
Because while we've learned this several times, we've never understood to what extent. Like to how intense and extreme it really is. Like she's a Navy SEAL worth of like doling out of rations of a fighter.
And
not just
positivity.
Not like your standard, like suburban mom of a fighter. She's like a, dying cancer patient while still raising money for your sick mom kind of a fighter. Like, let's just use all kinds of value systems that are inappropriate and don't equate to each other in the next one.
Yay. So, thank you guys for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos if you're having a good time with us. And also if you'd like to support us, yes, and my waifu disease, you could maybe possibly go check out Ko-Fi or Patreon. I'm not sure, but there are links in the description down below, and do a GoFundMe because I'm dying, and that's okay. According to the US government, we should just have these sorts of systems, and that's just how people should work, begging for money so that they don't die of easily solved diseases or basically issues that they could just get help for. But that's okay. Other than that,
I have been scandal.
Well, you know you don't deserve help if you can't afford it. Oh my god. If you want to donate to Rena's GoFundMe, links down in the description called Ko-Fi, and I